Mm. Mm.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SEN Live. It is the SCHMOEDOWN Entertainment Network. Oh my goodness, the network. Oh, who's responsible for this? The network. It's nice to have everybody back here today on this Thursday. What a week I'm having, to quote the great Eugene Levy from Splash. Unbelievable week so far. The ladies of SEN just completely put us all to shame this week. And we have a crew here today, man. Crew, special guests. I'm pumped for it. We're going to introduce the ragtags first, because we got, new guests coming in and we want to give them the special attention. So the ragtags, we start with the engineer in charge, the man who is just queuing it up like John Williams at a concert, ready to go.
Wow.
He is Ryan Nilsen. What's
what
up,
a comparison. Buddy? Oh my gosh.
Right? Same hair. Same
hair, same style. Yeah. I'm doing with some fates.
You're fucking crushing.
Thank you.
That's what you're doing.
Crushing.
You're just crushing.
Annihilating the game.
I want to get you a t-shirt that just says crushing, bro.
Crushing.
Yeah, you'd get so many girls with that, dude.
Oh, yeah. I was waiting for you. So wait a minute.
Joel Embiid of engineering over here.
Yeah, when you guys are all on together, you guys are fucking filthy. But here, you're like, I was waiting for you to say, yeah, you'd get so much puss, bro. But I
yeah, okay.
The dad's here.
I never know on SEN how much I can pull the trigger.
Dad's here.
Let me retcon what I just said. You'd get so much fucking pussy, Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, just lining up.
There you go.
Swim in this pool.
Yeah, take a dive, baby.
Yeah. What? Okay.
Balls.
Don't get me unleashed, Kristian.
That's why you're on this show, motherfucker. Get unleashed.
Yeah, I'm here.
Moving on over, Alex Marzoña is in the house. Oh, I like that. What a nice intro that is for Alex. I mean, I love Kate, and I love Winston, and I love all you guys, and I love Ben Goddard and everybody. And my God, these fucking people talking about Harry Potter, and it's going on. It's which house they're in, and Hufflepuff, and at one point Winston calls Dumbledore, and all this stuff is happening inside of this conversation. I'm like, oh my God, I was ready to slam my head into the steering wheel. And Brett says, this is why I can't wait this is why I'm looking forward to parties again, because I can walk away from this conversation. And it was just such an amazing one. I wanted to be that. But I've given you all enough praise. I'm tired of you all. And I am now going to give praise to someone I wanted to have on this show for a long time. Someone who has made such a presence in the SCHMOEDOWN. Someone who's going to be doing more with us in the future. And I say that because it is associated with the man I'm talking about. He is dynamite. He is Dave Moore. What's up, brother? How you doing?
What up? How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
It's good to have you on, man. Like, you came onto the SCHMOEDOWN. You just had such an electric personality, but you and I were talking about it, and it's like both your matches that you had, it was like Smets and then Chandru.
Like, there was some sort of conspiracy stuff going on, man. Like, I don't know what was up with that. I held my own. You
did hold your own 100%. I actually
but
loved
that was just not right. It was not right.
I loved your reaction, though, if you look at it when you played Smets in that first match, and you know it, and it's like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So Dave's here, man. We're excited to have Dave because we're going to talk about a lot of different things. And he and I, as this show is starting, we were going into like the Matrix movie because we're looking forward to that one. And Dave, you had asked kind of going into it, what the hell are they going to do?
Yeah. I mean, the last two movies,
Shit.
But you know what they did, though? They were pretty clever with the second one because they had a lot of like cross promotional information stuff going on with like the games, Enter the Matrix. If you played that game, it gave you a lot to the second movie, Reloaded. And so I'm wondering if now, with how everything is today, with like streaming and all this viralness going on, if they're gonna tap into that more, so that it's more of like an immersive experience.
100%.
Entering the Matrix.
Yeah, because there's ways to retcon it, and there's ways to shift things up a little bit more, and maybe, I don't know, connect more so to the first movie than they even did with 2 and 3. And I don't think anybody would have a problem if they find a way to just kind of annihilate 2 and 3 altogether. Although I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, because I don't even think Morpheus isn't even in this one, right? The Fishburne isn't even in this movie, from what I remember.
Young Morpheus.
I wonder though if like Will Smith was knocking on the door and he's gonna come in with like some cameo out of nowhere.
Yes.
Coming in with a woo, like coming in.
Yeah, I'm sorry I passed.
Yeah,
I'm sorry I passed on Neo. Anyway, so it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's a lot of different things coming out, and I was even talking about this morning. I've seen some good reviews on Chaos Walking. Anybody see the movie yet? The one with Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley?
That trailer had me not interested.
Where are you seeing those? I'm not seeing.
I don't know. I'm just. I heard a few reviews myself, and they were kind of like.
Have the reviews been shitting on it? Because I saw one, and although I have to be honest, the one review I did see was somebody who I never agree with, like ever. Like and it feels like every time this particular critic puts out a take at all, it's just to, do the opposite, or just to get retweets or something too, because every single time I see this particular critic, it's just to, hey, is everybody enjoying this? Here's my grenade. It's like every single time. So maybe it's the opposite. Are people shitting on this movie?
It just had such a troubled production. Like, this was supposed to come out in 2017. They did reshoots 2 years later. Pandemic. Let me see. Let me see.
It's at 27 right now on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh.
I know,
Okay.
What about the audience score?
Audience score. Let me check that real
I
quick.
don't think they have that yet. Probably don't have that yet.
What
Where
audience?
did you watch it, Kristian?
I didn't watch it yet. I want to watch it. I just saw this morning. I was browsing around on what's that garbage can called? Oh, Twitter. And I was on that stinky, disgusting garbage can, and I saw a review, and I'm like, oh, it's a good review. It's a really good review. And then I was hesitant because I saw the name attached with the positive review, and I was like, oh, okay. And then of course it's 24%. That makes it absolutely has no. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, the trailer. When I saw that trailer, I'm like, this is like what men want with Oblivion. I'm like, that's not interesting me at all. I'm a pass. So, and I mean, they got an all-star cast, and I think that's the only thing that saves it is, oh, look, it's Spider-Man. Oh, look, it's Ray. Like, but other than that,
that's how they should actually put it in the trailer. It's like, oh, look, it's Ray. Oh,
everyone
look, it's Spider-Man. And
but I know them.
Yeah, and she can read his mind, but this time she doesn't need the Force. Perfect. Okay. Well, good. So that's great. So my dreams have been crushed immediately. I've been looking at.
Kristian, you'd rather be on the Oculus anyways.
Yeah. You're not lying. You're not lying. But I can't share the Oculus with my wife because we're trying to find movies and shit to watch, and it is very difficult to do that in this house stuff. It is very hard.
Minari? I just
yeah.
What would that work? No.
Look, here's the issue that we're both in at the moment. I'm tired of miserable shit. Is Minari the one with Steven?
Steven Yeun.
Yeah, that one we actually looked at the trailer, and that's on our maybe list. That's on our maybe list.
It's just a really good movie.
It's
There's
a feel-good
subtitles.
movie too, right?
I know some people. Yeah, it's a feel-good movie. I mean, there's some sad parts, but it's just a really good film.
That one was on the list, so that one's a possibility. But it's just diving. I couldn't get her into WandaVision, and I'm trying to get her into WandaVision. She's just not doing it. She does not like it. But I was, what I did with her? I tried to watch. I told you guys I tried to watch like the first 2 minutes of WandaVision on episode 1, and she was like, "Nope, I'm out." So I'm like, "Okay." So then I was like, "Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna ignore all the other ones, and I'll go back and I'll start with the one where we're in the hospital and we see right after the snap. She's into all the Marvel movies, the Avengers, and all that shit. So I'm like, okay. So this takes place right afterwards, and then once that whole shit happens at the spoiler for people if you haven't seen WandaVision, get lost. All right, there you go.
Spoiler.
Spoiler, here it comes.
Eat dust.
All right, I warned you. After Vision comes back and he's all fucked up and he looks like, and she's like, that's just too creepy for me. I'm like, all the shit that we watch, that's too creepy for you. But oh yeah, that's right. Thank you, Andre. Andre Pierre just reminded me, and I brought it up this morning. Coming to America 2 is tomorrow. And so I think and she was the one who suggested, let's watch the first one tonight. I'm like, okay, good. I get to go back and watch Coming to America 1 tonight, which was one of my favorite comedies all time. So all you guys, how you feeling about the sequel? Does PG-13 scare you?
I don't love the idea that it's PG-13. I think some of the hardest hitting jokes in the first one was because not that cursing makes things funny, but it happened to make a lot of the joke. Yeah, they pushed the envelope. And I think like some of the lines, like your royal penis is clean. Like, are they able to say that with PG-13? Like
that would be okay. That would be okay. For that particular line. But the one, yes. Fuck you too.
Fuck you too.
Like that. You're only gonna get one F-bomb in PG-13.
But why make it PG-13? That's my question. It feels like Coming to America is for people who don't want to have a PG-13 film.
Alex, what were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, I mean it was meant for theatrical release. It was I think it was a money move for Paramount. So I think that was the main reason why they made it PG-13. And it was supposed to be up against West Side Story and Dune, so it was kind of counter programming to those.
I wonder because Craig Brewer is a friend of the show, and he's been on Schmoes before, and as soon as I saw the trailer, I shot him a text and let him know how much I was excited for the movie and everything too, and I loved Dolomite with Eddie Murphy and what he had done there. So that's why I thought that it would be R, because I mean Dolomite clearly was R. And
family movie. What you talking about? Come on now,
dude. But like so maybe what I'd like to try to do, I'm gonna try to get Brewer on the show, and then we can ask him that question. And maybe he'll tell us why it's PG-13.
I mean, I'm piggybacking off of homie with, I'm forgetting names here. I'm sorry, homie with the hat.
Yeah. Which,
Alex,
my guy with
Alex,
the hat.
Yeah.
Talking about fucking bitches. I think same thing where it's like, since now you've got families at home.
Yeah.
They're just trying to get everybody in to watch this one. So especially
because
now you got parents going, oh, I loved this. Ooh, but I don't know if I can show my kid. And now that it's PG-13, the fam can come in and all the blackety goodness.
That one I think is getting good reviews from what I saw. That one is, but again, and I actually saw this time around for people that I do respect their opinions, and I shouldn't say I don't want to respect the other person's opinion. I just don't agree with the other person's opinion all the time. But this one, people are saying that the PG didn't throw them off. It was nostalgic. It was feel good, and that's how I felt when I was watching Bill and Ted. The last one, because it's not necessarily a great movie, but I felt good watching it. Yeah, and I need that. So Brett, are you going to be watching that this weekend?
Yeah, the big thing with the PG-13 for back then, PG was skating on R. I mean, so now a PG-13 seems even more watered down than a P. Because I mean, did they even do PG-13 back then? I mean, or was it just
PG-13? PG-13 started in 1984, and I always forget. I think that Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was the first one, or was Red Dawn, one of the two. I'm pretty sure it was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Because we've made plenty of mistakes of going like, oh, this was cool for our 7-year-old to watch, and it wasn't. And so I think that now a PG rating or 13 would be way more watered down than it would be back then. And so maybe I mean, I don't, like Steph said, I don't think cussing makes things funnier, but putting handcuffs in any way on a comedian is a way to make something less funny, I believe. So I don't know. And if it's for new people to be brought in, then you're gonna want to show them the old one anyway.
First one, that's true.
So
that's true. We are gonna want to see the first one. Like it's like, oh, exactly. Your 10-year-old or 12-year-old watches the second one and goes, oh, that was really good. Can I watch the first one? No.
They hear, my name is Peaches, and I'm the best. All the DJs want to feel our breasts. You right?
Right. Unbelievable. PG-13 started July 1st, 1984. They said, no, Reservoir Dog was not.
Red Dawn was the first one.
Well, it was Red Dawn. Okay,
Temple
it was Red
of
Dawn.
Doom and Gremlins, like
right afterwards.
Were the catalyst that made the PG-13.
All right, so Red Dawn was the first. Red Dawn, I let me in. I was so I remember when when they did that remake, and Ellis and I went and saw a screening of it. And that night, I think I can't remember if it was Katie Sackhoff that was on the show. I think with Ken. They were talking, and we came in, and you might as well have thought someone had taken a shit in my lasagna, right? It was I was so upset with that movie. What a garbage dumpster fire that is. Oh, it sucks. Oh, awful. Red Dawn. Love Red Dawn.
Oh yeah.
Red Dawn's the 84 movie is like one of my favorite movies. I love that movie. It was so, and they pussied out of the second one, and they changed up shit. Like they changed. It's like, you know, it was. Don't get me started on that.
Don't even.
Yeah, don't get me started, Ryan. You know what I mean?
We were getting ready. We were Red Dawn and up back then.
In.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was like, we need to get ready for this, guys, because all our parents are gonna be dead, and we're gonna have to, you know, like,
avenge me, Brett! Avenge me!
You know, I got my Bowie knife, yeah! I was ready. I was ready to storm the castle and free everyone. But
Wolverines.
Yeah. All right, hey, listen, we got some stuff to talk about here. So we have a guest coming on today, my friend Steve Wright, who wrote Allan The Dog, stars in it. Allison Hayslip, friend of the show, was also in the movie. We're going to be able to bring him on, talk about that in just a little bit. Very excited for that. 11 o'clock. Also, Ellis is going to come in. Yeah, man, we're gonna talk about all of this stuff. And I also want to tell you guys about Stereo. Stereo.com/Kristian Harloff. As I have told you many times over, Brett and I are going to be on there a little later today talking about whatevs. And what I love about it is that it gets you guys involved. You guys can send in voice messages throughout the show live. It's the best way interactively to kind of talk to creators in ways that you've never done before. It's a great way for you guys to podcast in. I don't have a mic. Put your headphones on. Call your friend. Talk about whatever you want. There's tons of people talking about like SCHMOEDOWN stuff right now, or WandaVision, or whatever it might be, and you can do that and you can interact. So go to stereo.com/Kristian Harloff. Get involved today. Sign up today. Please join us at 12 o'clock, the after show here. Really appreciate that. And before we move on to the main story here that Alex is about to get us into, once again, giving a big shout out to the ladies on Tuesday, because of that, we're able already. Yes, was able to. I mentioned you guys how I wanted to get a freelance editor to help Nerd Chronic. We're able to do that for all these matches that we have coming in. We have so many matches coming in for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the pay-per-view on Friday, Dan Murrell versus Jeff Snyder. We have all of these things that are happening, and that show helped tremendously. So thank you for that. And what I realized, the reason we started doing stuff, because all next week, by the way, from Monday through Friday is going to be the ladies panel, because you guys got them to their goal on Tuesday. And what I realized about that is that you guys like being the producers. Like, I mean, that's really what it is. It's like I always felt like, you know, I'm never a big fan of going out there and saying, hey, you don't feel like you're getting anything when you should feel like you're being part of a product. You should feel like you're purchasing something. So that to me makes it anytime, as opposed to just, oh, here, take this. It's not, it really isn't, even though they say donations, it's not. So you guys you're paying to be producers on the show. You produce to get to the Flirt and Flouse. You produce to get the award show, which we're going to do next Thursday, by the way. You produce to get a full week of women hosting the show, and it's going to be absolutely insane. So that's how we're looking at it now. You guys are basically you're chiming in, and you're going to be producers on the show. So we're going to set a goal today. Set a goal 600 today. Set a goal 600 today, and what we'll do is we will do a show of myself and Mark Ellis hosting for the entire show, two of us hosting for the show, and then we'll set past that. We'll set goals on who's going to be on it. So what we'll do is we'll set a goal 600 for, if you want Ellis and I to host the show. Obviously not next week, because the ladies are doing all next week, but the week after. So we get to 600 today, and you go to streamlabs.com/the SCHMOEDOWN. You put in a SCHMOBot, and do what you will, and then Mark and I will we'll host a full show, and we'll bring in guests, and we'll set the goals after that. All right, Alex, let me know, what do you got?
All right, yeah. So with Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 weeks away, Zack Snyder said in an interview, the original plan was absolutely being twisted during production. Even though there was pressure on me to make it funnier and lighten it, I would persist as much as I could to keep the tone as much as I could. I added a bunch of things for them, and I was always careful to make sure I covered things both ways so that it didn't affect the movie story-wise. It was my hope in post-production I'd be able to force my will upon them. Kristian, what do you think about WB's insistence on having Justice League be funnier?
I feel like they didn't learn. I feel like that was the whole thing that happened inside of the other one. It's like that. Don't push the Marvel tone on him. Don't. That's not what he does. That's also not what the fan base wants to see. It's like they clearly went with it. I mean, for Shazam, it works because that's what that tone is. This is not that tone. This is not the movie. If he had a vision to say, my vision is to do this, we'll make it funnier, but that's not what I have in my head. So if I make it funnier, it's not the thing. But I like that he fought back on it. I like that he decided to say no, because this is I'm pumped to see it. It's coming out. What is it, this week or next week?
March 18th.
March 18th, next week. So I like at this point, it's called, you're promoting it as the Snyder Cut. You're marketing it as Snyder's Justice League. It's not WB's Justice League. I know that, it's our characters. It's not at this point. It's not. The audience, the hardcore people that want to see it, people who are there to see it, they want to see this man's version of it. Leave him alone. Same way that they did with Nolan. Nolan, when he came out, when he did Batman, you didn't tell him to be funny. You didn't tell him to be funny. The Batman movies weren't funny. They were his version, and he did his thing. It's like, don't start to compare the shit to Marvel, because it's not, the audience that's there is not there to see Marvel movies. So I'm glad that he fought back on it. I'm glad he did what he did, and I think that it makes it more exciting for me. But what do you think about this stuff?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's totally missing the tone. These are some of the most serious characters in the DC, other than Flash, which I think his comedy worked, but the other characters are really serious. I just think Zack Snyder is the comedy of this all. The way he talks is so funny, and I love how
Box donated $20. Oh. Come on, guys. Let's hit that goal so Brett can actually plan a vacation in a couple weeks. I mean, it'll be cool to have Harloff and Ellis, but let's do it for Brett.
Yeah, it's vacay.
That's right. Go ahead, Steph.
But it's kind of like making C-SPAN, like members of Congress, funny, like forcing comedy. It's not knowing your characters. And WB, like DC, this is the one area they really need to work on, is understanding what property they're working with and setting the tone around that and not trying to be something else. So I feel like I'm glad that he's so serious in his, like, I'd be able to force my will upon them, and kept to that tone.
Yeah, Dave, what do you think?
I mean, like, I feel like if there's one thing they should have learned from, like, the Disney, Marvel, Star Wars formula, is how Star Wars, to me, messed up when they didn't let Abrams' vision be the core vision across all of it. So then when we got The Last Jedi, homie was like, yeah, that was cool, but watch this. And it kind of threw things off a bit. And I mean, I'd be curious to see what Zack Snyder's brand of humor is. Like, I mean, what if, like, Flash zips out of a frame and it's like a slow push in on, like, Batman, and he's like, that's what she said. Like, I can't fathom, like, or like, what's his name? Steppenwolf, he's right. Like, I smell fear, and Superman flies in. Whoever smelt it, dealt it. I don't know what he would do with that. So yeah. I'm happy that they're letting him, keep that, whatever he's established. Because even though he's changed inherently, to me, some of what those characters are, who those characters are, it's like we've been on his journey this time, so we might as well stick it through.
Agreed. Ryan, you feel the same?
Yeah, and I actually think we've gotten a sample size of his comedy, and I don't know why they'd want any more. I think of the Man of Steel, what if I need to tinkle line, or the I think he's kind of hot, or Jesse Eisenberg doing a Jolly Rancher. Like, I don't think his comedy's good, so I don't know why you want to ask for more. unless someone else is writing it, and they're not. It's the Snyder cut. I don't want more of the Zack Snyder comedy. Just keep
just
it
not his
serious
vision.
tone.
It's not his vision because even those things. It's like if he's got an idea and people are excited about the idea of what he already is putting out there, don't force him to do light-hearted comedy shit if that's not what the vision is. It's like at this point, people just want to see what he wants to do. They don't want to see, oh yeah, now somebody do it. That'd be great if someone did like a dance around the lake. Well, why? Well, it's fun. But some 7 people just died. Yeah, but we don't want people to feel bad about death, so make them do a dance. I don't want to do a fucking dance. Not a dance movie. And that's the kind of shit that it's like the too many cooks in the kitchen, and what he's been able to do with this movement of people wanting to see it is that he's just like, let me do my shit. Leave me alone. I'm not going to do it. And good for him. He pushed back, and I think that's the case. And I think we're going to get his version. So there's no more saying, oh, well, WB had their hands in, because he clearly said they haven't. And I did my thing, and I pushed back on it. So, okay, what's next?
Well, wait,
right.
real quick. We
Yes.
already got like a Spike your Steppenwolf, so I mean the humor is there already.
Oh,
People lost their minds about that. So I don't think it needs any more than just he's spikier. That's
Right.
That's comedy to me.
Yeah.
What's because that's and someone even put a joke in there, because it's like when you, the thing is, they said, well, they're gonna have a dance off with Steppenwolf, making a crack at Guardians, but the difference is Guardians
dance.
and James Gunn has set up that tone from the opening frame of that movie. It wasn't the movie was as much a comedy as it was a science fiction movie. It was set up immediately, and so much so that I think the second one is more of a comedy, and something I just don't like the movie because of it. It's like, you get a joke, you get a joke, you get a joke. Well, that person's not supposed to have a joke. Doesn't matter. Joke's funny. You say it, and it's like that's the kind of stuff where it just beats me over the head. But at least both movies were set as comedies. If it's just like, hey, we just put a couple jokes in there, movie's not a comedy. It's and in no shape or form it's not a comedy. Leave it alone. All right, well, what's next, Alex? What
Zack Snyder's Coming 3 America coming out next year.
You deal with it.
All right, what's next?
With a Rogue One spin-off focusing on Cassian Andor in production, rumor has it that Obi-Wan Kenobi will appear in a recurring role. Both the Andor and Obi-Wan Kenobi series take place in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So, Christian, what capacity do you think we could see Obi-Wan in the Andor series?
It's very smart. It's a very smart move to do, and it's a smart move to leak it if it did get leaked. Because
@Superman donated $20.
Thank you.
I don't do funny. Worship me, you peons.
Oh, okay. Well, sure. But going back into that Obi-Wan Kenobi thing is because this is the difference, and kind of piggybacking off of what Dave just said, where there wasn't really, and I've said this many times over with the Star Wars movies, there wasn't really a plan at all. Even from JJ's first movie to his third movie, he was kind of coming back and going, I'll connect this and that. There was no clear plan. That does not seem to be the case with the television series. The television series seems to have a very clear plan, whether it's the Mandalorian saying, okay, you see those boots? That's going to be Boba Fett. You think the audience is going to know? And we'll figure it out, and we'll let them know in season 2. But that's Boba Fett. They knew that. The other thing is connecting the Boba Fett series to this series that they're going to put out in December, right? Connecting Ahsoka and having her have her own spin-off show, getting the audience that didn't know about the Clone Wars and Rebels familiar with her, so then they want to carry on with her in another series, right? That's what they were going to do. Whether or not whatever happened, with the Rebels, not Rebels, what's it called? I always forget the name of this show. What's the Guardian? Not the Guardians. What's the name of that fucking the New Republic? The New Republic show.
Rangers of the New Republic.
The Rangers of the New Republic. So that show, like that's another one. The Rangers of the New Republic, that was gonna apparently connect. So connecting Obi-Wan into Andor makes a lot of sense, because we've all said, what's the show that everybody is the least excited about? It's Andor. Mm-hmm. And by putting Obi-Wan in there and connecting Obi-Wan in there, then that goes, okay, well, this connects somehow, because then you could do the same thing for Obi-Wan. You could put in some characters from Andor, connect it, and then they go, oh, that carries over. Maybe I should watch that show. And I think it's a very smart move. Steph, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's totally mutually beneficial to get the hype up about Obi-Wan and then also increase the hype about casting Andor. I'm curious what kind of role he would play. I can't imagine it's a sizable role, as like one of the articles I read, because I think it's going to just be more of a cameo, maybe hologram, because he was supposed to, unless he's not on Tatooine.
He's going to go off. He's going to get off Tatooine at one point. And remember, I think that the scene that you're going to see, I think Jimmy Smits will pop up in Andor, and I think that he's going to have the conversations. He's going to be in contact with Obi-Wan, because remember that scene in Rogue One when he's in the hallways, like, my friend, he's on Tatooine.
JD Damash donated $20. As someone who is a fan of DC but not Cinder's DC, can honestly say I don't care what happens in this version of JL. That being said, you brought him back, so let him do what he wants. As for Star Wars, I'm glad there finally seems like there is a plan.
Yeah. What do you keep going, Steph?
Oh no, that was it.
Okay. And Alex, how do you feel about
We'll do more.
Yes.
Well, here's my thesis on
Keep
Obi-Wan
going.
Kenobi and how he will play into this.
That's right. Alex, how do you feel about Obi-Wan? Do you think they need him? Do you think that it's just it's overkill? How do you feel?
For me, I don't think they need him. I'm excited for this series just because it's Diego Luna. Oh my God. I'm down for some dirty dusty boys to go to war, you know.
Look at you.
So I mean, like, but it's good marketing. It's a good marketing choice to throw them in trailers and stuff, and people will be familiar with that.
Dave, what do you think?
I do want to see him in limited capacity. You know, I'd be very happy with there's just a scene and he bumps into someone, he just turns around, hello there, and walks away. I'd be very happy with just something very simple and you're like, hey, it's the guy. Yeah, but you know, it is smart though. It is a smart move. It feels very much like the moves that were made with the Netflix Marvel series.
Mm-hmm.
Having like characters throughout to interlink everything together. So yeah, makes sense.
It's their shared universe. It's the one that, you know, there was always a question of if Star Wars was going to do a shared universe, and this is how they're doing it. I mean, obviously everything is shared from the movies, but you know what I mean? This is more connected that way. Ryan, how do you feel about it?
I mean, so I'm a little interested in the timeline of all this, because I know this takes place like a year or 2 or 3 before Rogue One. So is this an older Obi-Wan? Is this going to be an older Obi-Wan than the one we're getting in the show, Kenobi? And does that mean he's just going to be on Tatooine? Does that mean Andor's going to Tatooine? I don't see Kenobi maybe like going off planet that later in his like career on Tatooine. So I think there might be a mission on Tatooine. That's kind of where my mind goes to this.
At that point, I think you're right. From considering where I think he gets off, I think he goes off planet on his show. I think that he's probably more stay put when it comes to that timeline. The question is exactly where in the timeline is it? It can't be too far back because Andor would be a lot younger.
Is it holograms? Because then that's a whole nother thing. If you have Bail Organa and he's communicating with Obi-Wan, I'm assuming we're getting some hologram conversations.
I love the idea of it. I think it makes sense. And, you know, I agree that I don't want to see him be like a crucial part in it, but I like the idea of connecting it because I think that's, especially if Bail Organa is in it, he would be talking to Obi-Wan. He did have connections with him. So I like it. All right. Let me shut the schmo down. The schmo down? Yeah, shut the schmo down for forever. Shut the schmobot off for a second, please. And you know what sucks? What really stinks? You know, it's not fair. You guys know that Netflix hides thousands of shows and movies from your based on your location alone. And then they have the nerve to increase their prices on you. That's what they do. They raise prices again. If everybody saw that, they raised prices again. Well, some people say they can just cancel the subscription in protest, or you just do what we do, and you get your full money's worth, and you go to ExpressVPN. It's easy. That's what you do. Now, you don't know what's on Netflix in your country. It could be completely different from something that the UK has or that Japan has. If you use ExpressVPN, you can control what country you want Netflix to think you're in. It's that easy. ExpressVPN has over 90 countries to choose from. So every time you run out of anything to watch, you switch to another country and you unlock new shows. I mean, you can watch the Fresh Prince. You know that one. That was on the Australia one, and you can choose over 90 countries Over 90 countries. It's amazing. And if it's not on US Netflix, the Fresh Prince one. So, but with just one tap of a button, ExpressVPN, it'll change the location to Australia. Boop, and you watch it. Here's the best part. It's not just Netflix. It's everything. You can do a bunch of other streaming services also. BBC iPlayer, that's free, and it's only available in the UK, by the way. It's super fast. It works on your phone, your laptop, even smart TV. So you can watch your shows on the big screen. And buffering, zero buffering. Be smart. Stop paying full price for streaming services and only getting access to a fraction of their content. You can get your full money's worth. And the way you do it is you go to expressvpn.com/SEN. What was that? Well, I'm going to say it again. You're lucky. expressvpn.com/SEN. Oh, hell, why not? expressvpn.com/SEN to learn more. Don't forget to use the link because you'll get 3 extra months free. Do it. Let the English see you do it. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, moving on.
PLD donated $20.
Hey!
Thank you,
A Kristian/Ellis show? Yes, please. Great to see Dave here. Hey, Brett, Ryan, Alex, and Steph. You rock. Seeing that cutscene during the Jesse Swift Amaru Moses match warmed my old action heart. Oh, and like Amaru says, #always Ed Harris.
Always Ed Harris. That scene is crushing, by the way. That scene, the debut scene of the movie trivia SCHMOEDOWN, which aired. It's pinned to my Twitter, and I just retweeted it again so people can watch it. But it's been getting a lot of great reviews, and I'm excited. And there's going to be more and more scenes. And what we would love for you guys to do, there's a lot of great reactions to the scene yesterday. Today there will be another scene, so please head on over there. Put your reactions, whether on the Facebook or tag it on Twitter. A lot of great reactions yesterday, and I'm curious to see how you're all going to react to today's scene. 2 p.m. Sean Sullivan is battling the first of the Dragon Con players, Marvelous Marie Wilson. That goes down today at 2 p.m. PST on this very channel. So there you go. All right, Alex, we got anything else before we start reading some Streamlabs? And by the way, nobody gives a shit if Ellis and I host. All right, here we go.
They've seen that.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So with the first trailer for Tom Clancy's Without Remorse was released and shows Michael B. Jordan as John Clark, unleashing vengeance on those who killed his wife. Jamie Bell, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Guy Pearce also star in the movie, to be on Amazon Prime Video on April 30th. Written by Taylor Sheridan and Will Staples, directed by Stefano Sollima. Christian, what did you think of the trailer? Sign
me up, man. Sign me up. Taylor Sheridan, I love. Michael B. Jordan, I love. Clancy, I love. So this is everything that you're. This is mine. This is the type of stuff that I'm looking forward to. So when it's going to be on Amazon Prime, this is the one thing I will be missing. I am absolutely, I think, in the minority when it comes to once the pandemic is over and people are allowed to go to movie theaters. I'm going to go, shit, all the good shit isn't streaming anymore. It's all in the fucking theaters again. So that's going to be me. I can't watch it on my Oculus. I can't do this. So anyway, that's this was pretty fantastic. Steph, you watched it this morning too. What'd you think?
Yeah, it looks sick. Every time I see things like this, I just think, oh, another thing I can actually watch with my dad, because you'll only watch action stuff. And I love seeing Michael B. Jordan plays the emotional strong man so well, probably one of the best right now. So I think this role is absolutely perfect for him. I saw Lauren London is playing his wife. That was cool to see her on screen again. She's awesome. And
what do you think, Dave?
Okay. So I know we're coming off of Black History Month, so I should be like, yeah, black people, movies. But I felt kind of, okay. I love everybody involved, right? But for me, it's like another, it's another Vengeance Tale. It's Black Rambo. It's Black John Wick. His name is John something anyway. So it's a lot of the same. And especially with what I've seen with Michael B. Jordan as of late. Homeboy takes a lot of risk in a lot of the things that he's attached to and a lot of things that he's producing. A lot of really cool, sort of interesting sci-fi things that he's really been involved in that have been by his own hand. So to see him in this is kind of like, it's probably going to be dope. And it looks like the action sequences are going to be fire. But I was kind of like expecting seeing his name attached to something. Now I'm getting used to seeing him kind of step in interesting directions creatively, and this just felt a little more formulaic, more of the same.
I don't disagree with that. I just think for me, it's like I'm okay sometimes when actors take the genre movies and the ones that, like, for example, if that happens to be the revenge movie is in the same genre as like a horror movie or a fantasy sci-fi movie, and now it's a revenge action flick. It's one more thing in his repertoire. So I'm cool with it, and because of I also am a big fan of Taylor Sheridan, and I think he's a fantastic director. So if it was just some generic, or I shouldn't say generic director, but somebody who's just there for the job and not really in past things have just been okay, then I'd be a little bit more skeptical. But Ryan, what do you think about this?
Yeah, echoing what you said about Taylor Sheridan, I know he's writing this, and I think Stefano Solima's directing, but he did Sicario: Day of the Soldado, the sequel, which Taylor also wrote. So, these guys have like worked together before. That's the team that I feel like the most confident with, and because I see Tom Clancy, and I'm like, wow, we might get like a very generic action movie, or we might get something special, but interesting team behind it. I think I'm a little curious that Michael B. Jordan is going with like another franchise starter here. Like, is this going to be his Bourne? He's already got Creed. He tried doing it with Fantastic Four, and I kind of like him having Creed and then doing these one-offs, and this sounds like he's trying to do another franchise, but the action looks dope. I know it's going to be quality with the team behind it, and I think it looks great. What's
the rumor with Black Panther now? Is there a rumor that he's supposed to come back? Is that the...
I can't even keep track of all the rumors. They were saying they were going to bring him back for a second there, but nothing's been confirmed.
Nothing's all right. I want to shift for a second before
real quick. I'm with Dave on this one. No, seriously. Okay, I mean, it's like, oh man, they should have killed him. Oh, brother, they made a big mistake by not killing this guy. He's the best guy we got. Underwater scene. Yeah. There's gonna be him hanging off of something. Excuse the pit.
You need to star in an action film like this. That's what I want to see.
My favorite line of that whole rant was, "He's the best guy we got."
Oh, he's the best, man. And don't waste Zippo lighters when you're blowing up cars, guys. Those are expensive lighters. Yeah. Get a cheap pack of matches. That always bugs me. But the only scene I did like in that one, when spoiler who hasn't seen the trailer, but when he got in that car after lighting him and got in that guy's face, that was the only one that was like, okay, this isn't formulaic.
Oh, wait a minute. So but everybody here was losing their minds when Odenkirk was doing this, doing that John Wick. That looked way more of a John Wick ripoff to me. Like, then I haven't seen the movie. I don't know. It could be great, but that to me looked more of a like. Yeah, he's straight. This seems to me more of a whether it was like a Liam Neeson or a Man on Fire type thing, like that was more the tone for this to me than I think those other movies. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of those formulaic type, but how many formulaic horror movies have we seen of the same type of shit that people go back and see a million times over?
It sells.
I'm not saying it won't be fun, but
there's just a huge demographic of people who like the classic action story, and they just want to see something cool. They want to see guns blazing, fires, explosions, and they don't really care about the amount of depth that they're getting necessarily.
But true. Odenkirk was against type though. Like I don't expect to see him in this. Whereas
that's true.
Michael B. Jordan's jacked. I could see him doing any badass, whether it's Navy SEAL, Air Force, whatever. I'm just curious if this is going to be more of like what Liam Neeson has been doing lately, and you're like, okay, it's hit or miss, or if this is going to be like, elevated action.
Yeah, I think so.
It also,
go ahead,
sorry. It just kind of sucks that they have to fridge his wife, which is like the term is like they have to kill off the wife to give him some motivation when they already have freaking Guy Pearce there. Anytime you have Guy Pearce now, you're automatically like cued in, like, okay, something's up with this guy.
Something's up.
So it's like,
something's up.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of the fridging that's going on here. But I mean, Michael B. Jordan, I love the guy.
All right, switching a little bit, because we are going to have our guest in around 10 minutes, and then and Ellis is also going to be coming on in. I wanted to talk about, so I'm a really big Billie Holiday fan. Like, I love Billie Holiday. I listen to it. I listen to Billie Holiday music in my car when I'm driving. I love Billie Holiday. So I was very interested to see the movie that is on Hulu. and it's directed by Lee Daniels. So I watched it the other night, and I will say that Andra Day, who I did not know anything about, is a megastar. I mean, the woman is absolutely incredible. I know she just won the Golden Globe, I think, right? I'm pretty sure she did.
Yeah.
Deserved, because she was absolutely incredible in this movie. The movie I thought was okay. Just thought the movie was okay.
Didn't
I thought
you to tell me that.
I'm sorry. I thought I think she's the reason you watch. It's a must watch for her performance. I didn't love the directing. The directing of the movie with I thought that there was so many like weird kind of transitions.
Molotov Shrimp Cocktail donated $20. Definitely need a Kristian and Ellis show. Been a while since Spateman has been on a. Maybe we can get the winner of tomorrow's match on too.
Oh, that's a big one too. That's also something that we could potentially do. Yeah. So there's parts of the movie that it doesn't seem, it doesn't really know what tone it's going for. It goes in and out. And then the other thing, I like Garrett Hedlund a lot as an actor. I really do, and I think he's good in this particular role. But he plays the character of Anslinger, right? Who was the guy? He was basically the government agent who started the whole war on drugs, but had such a racist vendetta against Billie Holiday and planning, and because he didn't want her to sing the song "Strange Fruit," and the government didn't want her to sing the song "Strange Fruit," which was about the lynching of African Americans that were going on in the country, and they were like, "Stop singing it! You're inciting people." She's like, "Fuck that! I'm singing my song." But they said, "Well, how do we get her for doing it?" Well, let's go after the heroin side of it. So they kept going after her. She had a problem, right? And people don't also forget that at that point, no, but in the beginning of the 1900s, drugs all the way around the board were still legal. And they're putting fucking cocaine in Coca-Cola up until like 1912 or some shit. So after that, they made her an example, and the movie's called The United States versus Billie Holiday. But Anslinger, at the point in this movie, was in real life was like 58 years old. Garrett Hedlund is maybe 42, 43, and he's a good-looking guy. Anslinger looked like if like Grimace was a white dude, he was just an ugly, fat dude. And so that casting I didn't understand. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that could have got, but overall, movies it's just, she had a very sad life, and Andrew Day is the reason why you see it. But the movie I just thought was all right. Does anybody else see it?
No, I'm waiting to.
Yeah, I'm
curious.
curious.
It was pretty messy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, Andra Day is like the only reason that she makes it watchable. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. And I wanted it to be great. That's the problem. She's great. She is great. And her singing chops, because Billie Holiday, it's not easy to try to sound like Billie Holiday. Right.
So she does sing the songs.
She's a.
Oh yeah.
And Andra,
awesome.
a lot of people I remember were complaining about the casting because Andra Day is primarily a singer, and then so I love to see that she's the reason the film is what it is.
Crushed.
Wow.
Crushed.
I'm gonna see it now.
Yeah, I'd have to see it just for that. I'd love to see that, but I wish it was better.
Well, look,
but I'll probably like it.
You might love it. You might love it. My wife and I were like, we were like, no pun intended, jazzed to see it, and we were like, when we're sitting down, like just excited, and she just is mesmerizing from the second she gets up there and starts singing. But we're just like, you're just waiting for it to be like, to hit you, because the woman had such a crazy story, and the story itself is not, it's fucked up,
brutal.
It's brutal, but like, I think that I just didn't like what Lee Daniels did with the directing wise. I think you could have gotten that same story with a different take on how he directed it. I wasn't a big fan of it. I agree with Alex. I just think it was messy. All right, so Alex and I are the only two that have seen that. Great. All right, we'll move on here. We'll move on, and Alex, let's get to some Streamlabs questions, because we're going to bring in our guest Steve Wright at 11, and we're going to probably shut the schmobot off for about a half an hour.
Sounds good. All right, so starting with Joe OK. How many potatoes does it take to kill an Irishman? None. I have to repeat, I am Irish. Y'all are great.
Thank you.
We says 2013's Begin Again by John Carney and starring Keira Knightley and Mark Ruffalo. We love the song Lost Stars, and it's on a rotation. Adam Levine's version is good, and we dare say Keira's is better. Your thoughts or personal stories for this movie?
For which one again? I missed the first part of it.
Begin Again.
Oh, I love that movie. I own that movie. I thought that was a great film. Underrated film. I'm sure, like, how many people on this panel, if I'm going to guess, I think Alex has seen Begin Again. I think Ryan might have seen it. No chance that Brett has seen it. I don't think Dave has seen it, and I don't think Steph has seen it. So am I right, Ryan? Have you seen it?
Yes.
Yes. Alex, have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
Wow, you haven't seen it?
I know I've seen once and Sing Street, but not Begin Again.
That would have been my lock. That would have been my lock. Steph, did you see it?
No, you're correct.
Brett?
Come on.
And
You're right. It
Dave?
looks like something I'd be into.
Yeah, Dave?
Nah, I didn't see
Nah, I
that.
didn't. Yeah, so I was pretty good. I was 1 for 5? Pretty good. Or 4 for 5. Yeah. All right. Let's get into some more.
KJ Winward says, hey y'all, just got my first round of the vaccine today, and so far my cell service is fantastic.
Oh,
much love and stay safe.
Nice what you did there. Cell service.
Jesus Christ.
5G. Yeah.
There you go.
Harden for MVP says, as each day passes by, the more I'm feeling we really are going to get a live event this year. Just renewed my A-list membership, and the first movie I'm going to see is Raya and the Last Dragon in Dolby Cinema here in NYC. How much money do you think it will make?
Not enough that it needs yet from movie-wise. I don't think enough people are going to be confident enough to get back into the theater. And I still, we don't have to get into all the other things about people opening up places because they're getting fatigue. But I do agree with the news that if they do start getting this vaccine out by May, like I am fingers crossed that we're going to get a live event. We're going to get the spectacular in December in LA. That's my hope. I've been crossing my fingers. I even did a poll the other day of who would go, and it looks like we get close to almost 1,000 people in that theater if we did it. And if people felt safe, obviously, that they would come out and they'd want to be there. So yeah, man. What do you guys think as far as Raya goes, Alex? You think it's going to make money this weekend, or still not? People aren't ready.
I think people aren't ready.
Yeah.
But I mean, Disney Plus won't release their what they make on their premiere access, so I'm sure they'll make a few dollars on that. But yeah. I'm definitely going to see it. I'm going to purchase it.
It's funny. I actually have a screener for it, and I'll probably watch the screener by myself probably today at some point. But my daughter really wants to watch it, so I might do both. Because the screener. The problem is the screener. What I love about Netflix when they give you screeners, it just puts it on your account. Disney Plus, you got to bring it up through your email. You're trying to run it through your television. It's a big pain in the ball sack. So I'm probably just gonna watch it on my computer.
I'll tell you.
Yeah,
that Hollywood Reporter photo shoot, Kelly Marie Tran, is gorgeous.
Yeah. And stunning. Yeah. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah. It looks so good.
I'm gonna pay to probably see it. I wasn't for a while. The hype though, everyone's praising it and says it's incredible. And like you said, it's another one that's like not depressing.
Yeah, isn't that crazy though? Isn't that it just shows you how much like word of mouth counts, because it's like when Mulan came out, everybody said, well, how is it? Bah. Fuck it, I'm not spending money on that shit. Yeah. But when it comes to it's good. Really, is it worth it? Shit, I got nothing else to watch. I'll pay the $30, whatever. That's what's gonna happen, because I'm like I said, I have a screener for it, and I'll probably still buy it for my daughter this weekend because she really wants to see it. Like this morning she was like, Dad, I really want to watch that this weekend. And I'm like, yeah, fuck. I'm like, all right. I got it.
I'm definitely going to watch it. Another Asian story for Disney is a win. I think the Asians are going to pull up. They'll make a good amount. I know that all of us want to be able to see more stories like this. So if they don't, then we got to stop talking shit.
Yeah, and it's focused on Southeast Asian lore. Mm-hmm. So like Indonesian, Singaporean, even some Philippine influence on the story. So once I found that out, I was like, oh, I want to watch this even more. So
is that true? So I don't think that's true though. Just Ed says that on PS4 there's an app that says it has the link to the screeners in it. I don't know if that's true.
I thought you were questioning the
Yeah.
Is that
No,
true?
origin
no,
of the
no.
film.
You're like, actually,
No, no,
Alex,
no.
it's based
I'm
on
sorry.
an American.
What do you
white
really
girl.
know
Dude,
about Asian
No,
lore?
Alex, I don't want to hear about this. This is all. Don't tell lies.
on.
Don't tell lies. No lies.
This is Asian propaganda from Alex and I.
What do you and Steph about it? I know about it. I want to talk to someone who really knows about this and really understands it. Brett, please.
Yes, yes. And this is $30, right? They went back with that. They didn't go.
They didn't learn.
No,
They didn't learn no lesson.
Yeah.
I think because of what I just said. I think because they said like, look, yeah, the first one, the first shot didn't work. Why? Milan wasn't that good. Shh, don't say it out loud, but you're right, Tony. How this one they say they like it. Let's try it again. Tony's got give Tony a raise.
And this is a keep for the extent of your subscription kind of a thing too. Like you buy 30 and you get it, or is it just a one shot?
I believe.
Oh no, I think it's a rental.
You
Wasn't
have it
Mulan?
until it's available on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Oh.
So it's like you.
So it'll be you own it from the, you just unlock it basically is what it is, which
Also,
is great.
Milan had reviews coming out a year before, so we had a year to hear that it was mediocre. So
Right.
by the time it came out,
Right.
everyone's like, "Oh, I know it's mediocre."
I'm not spending $30 on it. All right, listen. So we're gonna take a break from the Schmobots and everything else for a second, and we are gonna show you guys. So you guys have, if you've been following Schmoes long enough and you've been following the space, you know that Allison Hayslip is a big a friend of the show, and we've done a lot of things with Allison, whether it's on Collider or anything too. I was very happy to see that she was in this movie called Allan the Dog, because I know the creator of the movie. I know he's a friend. He's a guy I worked with over at The Bachelor, and he'd done reviews with myself and Mark. He did the Angry Driving Guy, which was a fun. I think he's still doing that. I have to talk to him about that as well. But he's a really funny dude. And I will talk to him about this. You guys know that I have done pranks over the years in my lifetime. My prank that I am the most happy with in my entire life, my friend Steve was unfortunately the recipient of that prank, and we'll talk about that. Like I've done some great ones before, but I was very proud of this one, and I think that I haven't really talked to him about it ever on the air, but even he was like, I remember him coming up to me like, "That was a good one, dude." Like, so we'll talk about that in just a moment, but I do want to show you guys the trailer to Allan the Dog, and then after he comes on in, I believe Ellis will be here too, but we'll have an opportunity to talk to Steve Wright. So here we go.
Vanilla ice like spicy rice. Vanilla ice like spicy fucking rice. Boom!
You let me keep my balls, people.
Sure don't want him licking mine.
Good thing he's a heavy sleeper.
What?
Few things in this world are more special than the relationship between a man and his dog.
Yeah.
That is, until they both fall for the same woman.
Ooh, that must be Ellie. Who? Your new dog walker. I already hate her knock.
Hi.
Takes a confident male to rock a onesie.
I wear them for both comfort and nerd hipness. Are you a sociopath?
Every time I murder somebody, I feel terribly guilty.
Witty banter. Check.
Go home.
Mailman.
Cullen, no!
Yeah, set me straight, baby girl. I'm so naughty. I'm gonna go schmooze this hurting soul.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That is far enough, Garfield.
That's not even a dog.
Yeah. Scram.
All good.
Go home.
At least I have my date with Ellie tomorrow.
Don't get carried away, Alan. She's your dog walker.
Ooh, dressed up a little bit today.
This is Princess Leia.
Buzzkill. Let's see if the mutts hit it off. Unless this is a menage a pas type of thing.
No!
She's a human and you're a dog. You're not right for Ellie, dude.
Go home.
I'll kill him.
This chick is driving us crazy. Your allergies are safe, Barrick, but love gets through the suit. You're crazy!
Whoa! No! Oh. You okay, pal? Hey, Matt, what's the first thing you're gonna do when we're rich and famous?
Being happy and having each other is more important than showbiz.
Exactly. It's gonna be wall-to-wall sex for me, too.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the movie is Allan the Dog, and the main man who wrote it, he does the voice of Allan the Dog. Ladies and gentlemen, my buddy Steve Wright. Steve, you got to unmute yourself. This stupid Zoom stuff that I hate, and I can't wait to actually get you in studio. How you doing, pal? Oh, you're still muted.
Oh, still muted.
There's a bottom button on the thing. You see the little mute button on the bottom left. There you go. It's this dude. We just did a full reenactment of the Golden Globes.
That's funny. Exactly.
How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. So it's funny because we've been talking about having you on the show for years. I mean, at one point when we were speaking of pranks, we were going to do a thing where you were going to dress up as a studio executive and tell Makuga that he fucked up and that you had heard too much about him and that he was just kind of destroy him. We had this whole thing set up. We just never made it happen. But enough about that. We'll talk about pranks and everything in just a little bit. I want to talk about Allan the Dog, man.
Sure.
I remember you coming up with this during your time when we were working together at The Bachelor. Is that right? Am I right about that?
That is right. I remember, it all started with there was a McGruff the crime dog puppet sitting in the assists bay, and I was like, oh, just kind of took notice of that. And then next time I swung by, it was still there, and I was like, can I borrow that puppet? Which sounds a little dirty. I'm like, I got to take that puppet home. No, but so I just started producing just a little, some comedy videos with the McGruff puppet.
Yeah.
But then of course, when we, started to think, I just kind of fell in love with the character that was developing with the dog puppet. And we, when we started thinking about making the movie, of course we can't use a McGruff the crime dog puppet. So
right.
we built an original puppet, and that's been the puppet ever since. But yeah, man, that was a long time ago, man. We, working on the script and developing it for many years. But yeah, it finally came to fruition, and it's out now.
So tell me about it. First of all, it's on Amazon, right?
It is. It's on Prime, and it's pretty much everywhere you rent, or stream your movies. But it is on Prime if you happen to have a subscription.
It's on Prime, and then let's talk about the cast a little bit too, because like you said, when I saw the trailer, I was obviously excited to see your trailer because I want to. You've been to SCHMOEDOWN stuff. You've been such a supporter of us for so long that I was like, yeah, and I've been a fan of your comedy for a bit, so I'm like, let me check out what Steve's doing, and I was really surprised and excited to see Allison in the movie. So how did you get involved with Allison Hayslip?
I was not surprised you knew her just because I feel like everybody. Like, I know Allison. I was like, oh, great. But yeah, we got to Sam Daly first. A friend of a friend.
Oh, that's cool.
Knew Sam and got him the script, and he, sort of came on board early on, and he knows Allison and has worked with Allison, and he was like, I know somebody who would be great for this, and so that's how we got the script to her.
Okay, great. And then when you guys just kind of hit it off, obviously.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember our first read through, and you could just tell everyone got the script, got the movie, understood that, connected with the comedy. So ever since the first read through, I was like, oh, it just felt really good. Yeah.
Well, let's not bury the lead. How'd you get Steven Weber?
So, Sam Daly, has been in a bunch of stuff. He was in The Office. He played Oscar's boyfriend in several episodes, and he's in a lot. He's in Hunters right now. And his father is a famous actor, Tim Daly, who was on Wings back, which I of course remember. I think that was on for like 8 years in the mid to late 90s, and that's of course how So Sam was obviously pivotal in bringing on some key cast members. And then Allison got the script to Gwen Hollander, who is the voice and puppeteer of Alan's love interest.
Okay.
So yeah, it was all, it's kind of, and we did go through a formal casting process for some of the other roles, but the principals definitely were all sort of, connections through us.
How long did it take you guys to shoot it?
We shot it in about 22 days, something like that. It was one big chunk, and then there was a little bit of a break, and we had like 4 shooting days. And then after that, a few pickups that we needed here and there. But yeah, it was, it was a real movie experience, man. And it was just a total blast, obviously, man, going to set every day and performing this puppet, was a dream come true, to be honest with you. It was a blast.
That's great. Anyway, so I was also, when you guys shot the movie, it was before COVID and everything, right?
Yes, it was.
That's good. Did you get? What about post? Did you have to deal with any COVID shit?
We really didn't. We were in post production when the pandemic hit. So thankfully, because with an independent movie and you don't have a huge budget, any big thing that could go wrong could destroy it. I mean, if we were right in the middle of shooting that, it's hard to get everyone back. If a lot of time goes by, it causes more and more problems. But thankfully, yes, we got it all shot before the pandemic hit.
Good. Happy to hear it. And then obviously, the critics seem to be really enjoying it and laughing at it. And it's got to be also, I'm sure it's a little stressful too, because this is like your first big feature film that you're going to getting out there, right? And then how'd you get involved with Prime? Through our producer, I guess, it's probably through our digital streaming company, Freestyle Digital Media. So they own the domestic streaming rights to that. Okay. And I think that they worked it out with Prime. So we actually, we have an international agent who is getting us set up in some other countries. And I think in Russia. So it's going to be, it's going to be subtitled in Russian, which I think will be kind of funny. So we'll see, nobody's getting rich, unfortunately. It's not, of course, why we made the movie, but it'd be nice to have a little bit of scratch coming in. But we were warned about that. Our producer, Warner Davis, who produced the movie, he's made, several independent movies. And he's like, look, in the streaming market, it can take a long time to make your money back. The money just kind of trickles in. So that's kind of where we are right now. But we're just so glad to finish it, be proud of it, and it's out there. Anyone can rent it, basically. So yeah. I love the fact that it's on Amazon too, because it's one of those things where, I mean, obviously you were kind enough to send me a link, but I want to watch it with the wife. I want to sit back and kind of kick back in a living room and just be able to turn on Prime and laugh. Because I know your humor. I worked with you for so long that I know that you can definitely tell, even watching the jokes. I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a Steve joke there for sure. So working with people that are funny, because Allison's really funny as well, so like when you're working with other comedians, I know that it's also beneficial to be able to take a particular joke that you have, and then sometimes it's one or two things, right? It's either one, I have this joke, I know how I want it to land, please say it this way. And if you don't, it's like, argh. But then there's the other side of that, like, okay, well, these people are talented enough, maybe they'll spin it this way, and I got something I wasn't even expecting I was going to get. Did you come across that a lot on the set?
The writing was so excellent. Just kidding, I wrote it, so I'm just joking. No, but no, I'm kidding. No, absolutely. I mean, the collaboration, the collaboration was fantastic. We would do read-throughs and absolutely people would read it a little differently at times, and it would be more effective and funnier. So, but yeah, it was fantastic. And we also kept, once we had that first read-through, we got feedback from our actors. Allison gave us great feedback about her character. Yeah. And there are times where she's like, I don't think this makes sense, her attitude in this scene because it's coming off of this. I'm like, you're right. So we kept, we were doing some rewrites based on feedback from our principals and from the read-throughs. But absolutely, man, there's one scene. So Allan does a lot of abbreves. That's one of his things. He's always talking in abbreves.
Like you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Sam just had this great idea for an abreve fight for the two friends, a man and his dog. They get into this abreve fight. And so I wrote that scene and we ended up putting subtitles of what they're saying.
Oh, that's funny.
And at one point, they're fighting and Alan's like, at least I'm not a BS. And it says backstabber at the bottom. And he goes, how am I a backstabber? Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, SBA OTP. And they're like, what? And Alan's like, wait a minute. Stabbing backs all over the place. That's right. Stabbing backs all over the place. So, but yeah, that was fun. And that again, was that collaborative effort, an idea from Sam that we wrote the scene and worked on. So, and that's my favorite scene in the movie, I think. So absolutely, man, working with those guys was fantastic.
That's great. So good, guys. Check out the movie. It's Allan the Dog. It's on Amazon Prime right now. Steve Wright, who wrote it, he's the voice of Allan, and it's got some great talent in there. So you should please go check that out. Check it out this weekend and watch it this weekend, or watch it tonight. Maybe it's you got your little WandaVision, little Allan the Dog. So,
yes, and you guys were talking about R versus PG earlier.
Yeah.
And we had that conversation many times. And, my humor definitely is not PG. It's not like super raunchy.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the Happy Time Murders where, they were really.
Right.
They were like, that was like the point of that. And, we went through and we're like, can we make this PG? Let's look at every joke, that would have to change. And there was no way. We can make it. So it is R due to language, but that's about it, it's not as raunchy as Happy Time Murders. We would always pitch it as Ted meets Rushmore.
Yeah.
I feel like the sensibility is somewhere in there. It's not quite as broad as Ted, nor is it as sophisticated as Rushmore, but somewhere in the middle there.
And I love that Alan's just staring at us in the picture over there in the post.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. I've got Allan right here.
Where is he? What's Allan? Can I interview?
Oh
Allan
yeah, I
the
was
Dog
gonna
first?
ask about the condition.
Yeah. So Steph, you want to interview Allan?
Oh yeah. Hey Allan, how are you doing today? Thanks for coming on SEN.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me. This is great. This is fantastic. Is this awkward? Yes. But it's really good. Thanks for having me on.
Do you like to be held the way you're being held?
Not really. It's a little uncomfortable, but anything for the biz nasty. But yeah. And Steve was talking about the collaboration effort there, and it really was, because the script, while it was very functional, it was kind of bland, and you're looking at the guy right here who brings the magic. You know what I'm saying? There's words on the page. If you want to fall asleep, start reading Steve's script. But if you want the magic, get me to say the lines, and we'll go to town on it.
That's fine.
You bring the magic, but you were designed off an original prototype. Have you met that one?
I've not. I insisted that the prototype be destroyed. So that was one of my conditions before making the movie, is to destroy the. I won't even say the name. I won't even say it, McGruff. But yeah.
We're very excited that you joined us, Allan. Thank you so very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristian, for having us. We really appreciate it. And the prank you did, fantastic. Take care, guys.
Thank you. Oh, the prank. Speaking of the prank. Speaking of the prank.
You said real quick. Sorry, you said the cast was great to work with. How wretched was it to work with Kristian?
It's true.
We had our ups and downs, but yeah, man, it was good, man. It was good. Yeah.
I think we only had one down. I think the only down is there was a Comedy Store moment that we had, but because we're both like also so locked into the stuff that we're doing, and Steve's I think we have so much respect for each other in the fact of creative and again, like I said, Steve and I started like the same time. We both started working at NXT, which is the company that does The Bachelor, and we were working on this thing called High School Reunion. It was
that's right, yeah. Yep.
So we were there, and Steve had such a great job. Steve's an editor on that show now, and the editors, by the way, are like, that makes that show move. So getting on, and Steve told me that, I was like, that's a big jump. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, man.
Thank
you.
Yeah, the editors make that show. The editors are the kings of that show. Like from working on that show, like the editors are like, everybody caters to the editors. Like when you
masterminds.
They're the masterminds, and they're all, and when because Rachel Cushing, that's how I met Rachel Cushing. She was an editor on The Bachelor. So Steve went from, there was the logging positions and everything. Steve started again. I don't, not to blow up Steve's head, but like Steve is a really hard worker, and he started from the logger position all the way up to an editor now, and that just shows you his determination and kind of his wherewithal. So and the reason I bring that up is so the loggers, when they start, they're in there, they're kind of going over everything that's happening with the show, and they're very crucial to the show because they let you know just everything that's happening. The amount of footage that these people are watching is just incredible. So Steve had moved up, and I think at that point they loggers have like this. There was like this room. There was like this full on room where it was like the doors were shut, and it's almost like they left these poor guys in there like caged animals, right? And it's like, and it was like this glass. They still have that room with the loggers in it, Steve?
We actually moved offices. We're in Burbank now, but yeah, it was like this glass case. We called it the fish bowl, and it was tight. It was tight in there.
It was tight.
There's one table, but
with a bunch of computers.
Yeah. Exactly.
So there's a bunch of these computers, and the loggers would all sit there. And then Steve got moved up, and then they moved Steve to like this cubicle. He took very good care of it. It was like really, as opposed to mine, which looked like a hurricane hit it. But like he took really good care of it, and he had all this stuff. And so one day I come in, and I think it was April Fool's Day. It was April Fool's Day.
It was. I'm having PTSD here, but yeah. Well, so yeah, go ahead.
Steve.
But I was just going to say, yeah. So I actually was in an office at that time, and so I come in.
Oh, okay.
And I've got all kinds of things. I've got a computer. I've got files. I've got my desk is cluttered with all kinds of stuff. And I come into the office, and there is nothing on my desk. Everything is completely gone, except for a note from our office manager that says, "Come see me." And I'm like, I've been fired. I mean, I assume I've been fired. That was my thought. So I went and found her, and she's like, "Don't shoot the messenger." And I'm like, "Well, what's going? Just tell me what's going on." And she's like, "They're putting you in with the loggers. They want you to make sure that they do their work." And I go, "Oh, that's so weird, but okay." So I go in there, and all my stuff, I'm like getting my computer set up in there. And dude, it's so tight in there. The desk was like in the very corner. So I'm getting everything set up, and I turn to the loggers, and I go, "Get to work." Like that's my job now. But and then I don't know how long I would have been there, and I finally look up, and again it's that glass bowl, and I saw Kristian across just dying laughing. And I'm like, okay.
It was this thing because I forgot how I went to the office manager at one point. It was like because Martin, it was the guy who was running everything. I said, well, let's just say that Martin really liked what he was doing over there and wants him to be in there. So everybody kept coming up to me, why is Steve out of his office? Why is Steve working in the locker room? And I'm like, and I told him, I'm like, because he thinks that Martin wants him there. And like, why does he think that? I go, because it's April Fool's Day. And they go, brilliant, right? And then it was
great.
He came up to me afterwards. He's like, it was good. It was good.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot. It was a blast. We had a lot of fun there for sure. Bagel Wednesday. Do you still do Bagel Wednesdays?
I think yes, they do. They do.
Good. I need Bagel Wednesdays in my life again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, is Ellis not here yet? No, we haven't.
Ellis is not here yet.
Okay, cool.
Ellis just got here actually.
Hey.
Because Ellis remembers. Because Ellis, where is he? Where's Mark? Do we see him?
Bring him in right now.
All right, Mark Ellis is coming in because this is a reunion of sorts. Mark Ellis is here, ladies and gentlemen. Mark, Steve Wright. Remember what we used to do? We used to have Steve come in and do the angry driving guy before he come in to do the reviews. So you guys haven't talked in like I think it was like 10 years.
I love Angry Driving Guy, and the only negative that I could possibly have to levy against Steve and the amazing Angry Driving Guy is that I'm pretty sure it's your fault. You're the reason that Kristian started doing those morning drives to Collider while I was doing movie talk. And so I'd be doing movie talk and I'd be looking at the live comments as I'm hosting the show. They'd be like, man, Kristian's really going in on Transformers. I'm like, what the hell? He's driving to work.
That's awesome.
It's true. Yeah, what are you still doing? Are you still doing Angry Driving Guy too, Steve?
So I did 90 or 89 episodes of it.
Shit.
And dude, I sold my car in LA. I just was so tired of driving. And that's how that came about. For people who don't know, I would just, film myself on a GoPro and just jump cut and pretend, have one side of a conversation, talking to my therapist, getting broken up with, breaking up with someone, whatever the subject was. But dude, I sold my car because I just couldn't take
driving in LA.
I was in the car 2 hours and 20 minutes a day. And I was like, I don't want to waste this time. And that's why Driving Asshole Guy came about. And I have one other memory from Mark. You guys got me up at the Comedy Store for a quick set.
That's right. Yeah.
And Mark's pep talk before I got up was, he's like, you're going to bomb, but it's okay. This is a tough room. You are going to do terrible. We're not going to hear any laughs, but it wasn't that bad. But you were just letting me know it was going to be tough, and it was. But yeah.
Was I accurate?
It went all right. In fact, I think the guy kind of let me go over the time. Like the light went on, but he's like, "Hey, keep going." And then I really couldn't. So I was like, "No, that really is it." And I was like, "Where's?" So I go, "I've got a solid minute and a half, and that's about it."
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Steve, are you able to stick around or with us? Or you want to? All right, cool. So we'll get into some other stuff. We do have Mark, Steve, Dave, Ryan. I just said
Dave Moore is here
Dave.
too. This is All-Star Day.
We got
Bringing it in.
We got a great crew here today, and so man, to quote Kevin Smith, at one point I should have Steve and Dave go, tell him Steve, Dave. So let's don't forget about Stephanie. Come on, Mark, show a little. I told her Stephanie.
My government name, Christian.
Stephanie.
Stephanie. No.
Stephanie.
Hello, Stephanie.
Stephanie here.
Here's the thing about Stephanie. We said it before that Stephanie and Alex cannot be talking about Asian things because they don't know about it, but Sheridan sure does. Go ahead.
Yep. Stephanie and Sabraw out there. Oh, I ain't gonna watch that movie. It costs too much money. $30. Shoot. I can get a whole 18-pack of Natty Light for that.
Oh,
Give me Natty instead of some movie like this. I don't know. Steph Sabraw's got money coming out of her patootie, I think. I gotta save my bucks for booze.
Yeah, I literally shit money. You're correct, Brett.
That's what we're gonna call it. That's Steph's new movie. It's called Patootie.
Perfect woman.
Patootie.
Shit's money.
All right. Alice, why don't you get us to streamlabs.com/SCHMOEDOWN. All right, everybody. And Alice, guess what I did for us today? If we hit what did I say? 600? I think I said
600.
If we get to 600 today, you and I are going to host a show together in 2 weeks. But don't worry, we're nowhere. We're not even close. So it
I don't get it. Everyone always is like, "Where's Christian? Where's Christian? We miss Christian and Mark." And then the one day y'all are getting offered it, it's Silencio.
They're probably trying to recover from the show on Tuesday.
At least with our average of today and Tuesday, it's a good average. You know,
good call.
Got that going.
It's all right. So yes, go ahead, Mark.
In fairness, and in my defense, I just showed up.
That's true.
Okay.
Way to clear the record.
So for everybody saving their money to see the legitimate face of this evil empire, now I want you to donate up to $5.99.
Yeah, so we know. Well, we're 461 away. Wait, Ellis, are you trying to get stuff going on the road now? Is that something that is a possibility?
I have some rumblings of things that are happening this summer that I can't quite announce yet, but it's looking more promising. So.
Okay, especially with this announcement for May, right? With the vaccines.
Yes, that, and combined with the fact that I'm just so horny for stand-up, I'm like, I'll just go. I'll just go at this point.
I'll tell you, I am too. You know it too. You've been hearing about it too much from me. I keep saying to Ellis, I was like, hey, at some point, you and I should try to put something on. He's like, let me figure out my thing first, okay?
There's certain times a day when Christian's calling, and if you answer it, that you're just getting 10 minutes of a bit he's working on.
I have done one bit for you, maybe two in 6 months.
Christian, George,
two. You name me more than two.
Just because I don't remember what your bits are doesn't mean you haven't done them.
That's true. Well, that is true though. The other day I did have one I was going to run by it, but I don't do that anymore. I just call Brett.
Christian, I'll tell you the same thing I told Steve. Okay, it's not going to go well.
Probably not. It's true. It's true. I had some good. Kate's been my sounding off board. All right, let's go to Streamlabs.
All right, we got a question for Steve from Pussy O'Connell.
Oh,
hey, y'all. Welcome to Steve. Can we just ask him what his favorite Star Wars movie is? What are some of his films or films that inspired and influenced him? Thanks, people, and God bless y'all.
It's very nice.
Awesome. Thanks for the question. I loved Rogue One. I'm a Rogue One guy. When our hero shoots the dude in the alley because they're going to get caught, I knew immediately. I'm like, yes. Seriously, I was like, dude, this is like, to me, I thought it was a perfect movie, but I'm of course, the original trilogy guy growing up, Star Wars, playing Star Wars stuff. That's what I call my friend, you want to play Star Wars stuff? That's every birthday with Star Wars. But Rogue One, in terms of the new ones, that one I thought the tone, you guys were talking about tone earlier. To me, honestly, I just remember when I walked out of that theater, I've only seen it once, but I thought it was a perfect movie. I was like, that was perfect. There was not one moment for me that, and then in some of the other ones, I kind of feel, you guys were talking earlier about, you know, maybe forcing a moment or, you know, forcing things, humor, or whatever it is. I kind of feel that. I really enjoyed the movies, but Rogue One for me, my favorite movie, man, I am a Rushmore guy. I just love that movie so much. And I remember at the end of the movie, he's been lying about what his father does the whole movie. He says my dad's a surgeon or a neurosurgeon or whatever, but he's really a barber. And at one point he says, "Let's face it, Dad, I'm a barber's son," and you can see the hurt on his dad. But at the end of the movie, he introduces his dad to his friends. Finally, he's been kind of hiding his dad the whole movie, and that's just one teeny little part of the movie. There's so many things going on. He says, "This is my dad. He's a barber," and I'm like, tear bleeding my eye. And so I love Rushmore. To me, it's an incredibly sophisticated comedy. But I'm a comedy guy. You know, I love comedy movies. And Allan the Dog, in some ways, is a love letter to comedy, to movies in general. There's a lot of references. We have a huge Rocky theme throughout the whole thing. Our entire ending sequence is like an homage to part one of that franchise. So, but yeah, Rushmore, you know, that's why we pitched the movie as Ted meets Rushmore. You know, we felt it was somewhere in between there.
Awesome. And Dave, you got to piggyback off of that. What's your favorite Star Wars movie out of all of them? And then what's your favorite movie in general?
Okay. Honestly, for my cinematic journey, they're kind of one and the same. My favorite movie of like all time is my favorite Star Wars movie.
Empire?
The Empire Strikes Back.
I like this kid a lot. Big fan of Dave Moore.
Now, my movie kind of journey of like, oh, I want to make these things was honestly was Jaws first.
Oh, now you're getting on Ellis's side.
Yeah, it was Jaws. Then I got introduced to Star Wars, and I was like, blah. And the older I got, because as a kid I loved Return of the Jedi, but then I really started to understand the complexities of Empire. And so Empire became like, that's my jam.
Ellis hasn't figured that complexity part out yet, so he's still in Return of the Jedi.
What exactly is the complexity? Somebody enlighten me. How is Empire Strikes Back
the best movie of all time
than Return of the Jedi? All Empire has is a guy, some strange, scary guy telling you that he's your father. Return of the Jedi has that character rectifying in his own mind and then confronting that person, making it truth. The real reveal is Return of the Jedi, in Luke's acceptance that he has to confront who he now realizes is his dad. It's not just this, oh, mic drop, I'm your dad.
How about the
complexity? The complexity, sir, baby carrots, is that you're watching this kid living on a dream. Literally, all he could think of doing was fighting against the Empire. He is now not only living his dream, but realizing that there are layers and levels within your dream. So yeah, he achieved it. He flew, he fought, he blew the thing up. But now we're reaching another sort of threshold in his journey, which is going to Dagobah, meeting Yoda, understanding what it is to be a Jedi, failing at being a Jedi, almost jeopardizing all that they fought hard and sacrificed for. I'm forgetting the line exactly, but you know where I'm going.
just at that point, Ryan, just do me a favor, just get that Bryan Cranston moment where he just drops the mic. That's what Dave just did. That's right.
Let me ask you this, David, because I do like you a lot. How long would the movie Jaws have been if there were just 3 Ewoks on that boat? They would have killed that shark in 20 minutes.
Facts, Mark. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we know that Steph's your favorite is Jedi. What about outside of Star Wars? What do you got?
My favorite movie?
Outside of Star Wars. Give me one.
If I had to have one that like shaped my whole life, is Austin Powers.
Oh, look at you. It's a great movie.
The entire trilogy, but the original.
I know from very recent experience, Steph also very big on Underworld. Steph's a
love Underworld.
Yeah. Do you know? I don't know if I the first one, Austin Powers, to me is just so great, right? And I like the second one as well. However, I don't know if I've ever laughed as hard as I've laughed in a movie theater. In the beginning, I think it's Austin Powers, it's Goldmembers, the third one, when they do the whole thing with Tom Cruise and Danny DeVito.
Yes.
And when
Yes.
Danny DeVito turns, he goes, "Hey, asshole!" Like, it just fucking killed me. As when Danny DeVito's mini-me, oh, it was so amazing. Hey, asshole!
Is that the
third
second
one?
one?
It's the
That's
third
the
one.
third one.
It
That's
is?
the third one.
Yeah, it's the
Tom
third
Cruise
one.
turns around with the baby.
Yeah.
Gwyneth
Yeah.
Paltrow's there.
Yeah.
And
right.
then
Beyonce.
asshole, a mini-me.
Right.
Come
Oh.
and get me.
So funny. I remember being at a theater just crying, laughing at that. Hey, asshole. So fucking good. Anyway, all right, let's
That's right up there with Rushmore. I'd say.
Yeah, you got
You-
Brett, you
You
got a
simpletons.
yeah. What do you
God.
what do you have? But yours is Tannenbaum. So
Yeah. Rushmore's that's my set, but Tannenbaum. I mean, anything. Wes Anderson. I'm a Wes Anderson stan. And Terry Gilliam. A lot of those. But yeah, I love the Rushmore. So that's making me excited to see if it's got a Rushmore element in it. I'm checking out Al.
Got to go back and watch Tannenbaums, man. Tannenbaums is such a fucking funny. Your mother was a terribly attractive woman. It's just about. All right, let's keep reading. Streamlabs.com/SCHMOEDOWN. Who's not donating right now? Go ahead.
Well, it's not Patricia Metz because she donated and says how much to get my beautiful Ben Goddard back 5 days a week.
Oh.
$200,000.
There you go. Team Durant says, assuming they all have movie knowledge, which current NBA player would be perfect to play in the Schmoedown? Who would be great in promos, entrances, and storylines? My pick is Kyrie Irving. That guy
I would've
just
said him
sends
too.
positive vibes all the time.
I'll let Mark Ellis. You take this one. What do you think?
I don't trust Kyrie to show up for all the matches. He's
Yeah.
just too much of a wild card. So if it's someone who you want to be just a lights out competitor, I would pick Damian Lillard for entertainment purposes as well. I think Jimmy Butler would cut a great promo. He's been in movies. He could be a trivia question. I think Jimmy Butler has the competitive juice and the performance flair to be great in the movie Trivia Schmoedown.
Well, our version of Dennis Rodman is going up and playing this Friday, and that's Jeff Snyder. He is going to be facing. He's going to be playing the one and only Dan Murrell in a #1 contender match. It's going to be something. These two have never played each other ever. They've never faced off in all the years they've been playing. Jeff's been around since season 3. Dan's been around since season 2. They have always danced around one another, but they have never faced each other. And it happens this Friday. And it's pretty easy how you do it. If you want to go and get a ticket, you go to the schmoedownlive.com. You can get it for $5.99 over there. However, if you want to, you can become a $10 patron, which I think is the best bang for your buck, because you're not only going to get Jeff Snyder and Merle this month, you're going to get Bibiani and Oyama. You're going to get Dimalanta and Damon. You're going to get John Roca and Liz Shannon Miller, and then Ben Bateman versus Riley, all at that $10 tier on Patreon. That's patreon.com/schmoedown. All right, what's next?
Tongue Punch Fartbox says, how do you think fans or WB will react if Snyder's
Jose
JL...
Montalvo donated $50. Hello, crew.
Thank you.
Can we switch Steve and Dave's window so it looks like that Dave is surrounded by all sides? You guys are awesome.
It's just surround. Well, we have Steph and Dave who are together. So and Alex too. So I don't know what that means. All right, let's go next.
How do you think fans or WB will react if Snyder's JL ends on a cliffhanger? Will fans be able to demand a continuation of this version? Would WB say fuck off and be done with this?
It's tricky. It's fucking tricky, man.
You vote with your wallets. You vote with your clicks. So if this thing just goes off like gangbusters, and we know that WB, as well as other studios, including Lucasfilm, look at what fans say about the movies that just came out. And so if it does get a lot of universal love and it's not just a bunch of bots trying to celebrate it, I'm excited about watching this movie. I'm going to click on it. Enough people click on it and watch it, then you could get more Zack Snyder WB movies in the future. I think it's a tall mountain to climb, but enough people want it.
Curious, because they have, because from Warner Brothers didn't want to release it, and they were pretty much like, hey, we want to see this movie, we want to do it, and it was like a movement to get it done. And the question is, I agree, Mark, that I think that if a lot of people are checking it out and it beefs up the subscriptions, and then people want to see it continued. But from all rumors, the budget's over 200 mil now, right? Or more.
I don't care. I ain't paying for it. I just want to watch it.
You're not, but the people who've got a green light a sequel are.
I think I'm gonna watch this. I'm probably gonna be. I'm gonna be Zack Snyder's best friend because I'm not just gonna click this once. I'm gonna click this 10 times.
Ragnar Brock donated 20.
There it is.
Steve, as a director, how do you feel about Viking movies? Could you make a movie with Vikings fucking? You see, Brett hasn't had freaky sex in a while and needs some new material, and Terry's only so many times he can beat it to that World Girls calendar.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Check out how classy our fans are, Steve.
Yeah, I love it. By coincidence, the next project I am working on is a Viking fucking movie.
Amazing.
And I actually, I did not direct Allan the Dog. My good friend Barry Murphy did. I met him in 2013, and right when I started working on the script, and he took an interest in it, and we ended up developing the story together. And so yeah, I actually did not direct that, and I literally couldn't. I mean, I was on the ground, with a puppet. So there was, but Barry did an amazing job of bringing the team together and developing the whole thing. And so, but yeah, so yep, I'm not a director.
What a way to put a really nice classy answer to a just filthy question. Thank you.
Filthy.
So you have no interest in helping me have sex with my wife, is what you're saying, and are not going to make a puppet Viking movie. Okay, no, that's cool.
On the contrary,
Next question.
Brett, I think Steven could help you out. I think he could probably make a couple puppets to explain sex to you and your wife.
That'd be good too. All right, what's next?
Sir Lord Attenborough says, "Hey all, happy belated birthday, Brett. Alex, great job with the song yesterday. Thank you. Kristian and Mark hosting needs JTE or Finstock to take the show to the next level. Can't wait for Snyder v. Merle tomorrow. Has anyone seen Raya yet? Is it worth $30?
Just hearing good things about it. I haven't got a chance to just yet, but I'm probably gonna try to watch it today and try to get a review out. We'll see if that happens. One more thing before we start reading some more of these here too. We also have I mentioned earlier, the Star Wars match between Marvelous Marie Wilson, first Dragon Con player to make her debut, going up against the Saint, Sean Sullivan. That happens at 2 p.m. PST today on this channel. Please do not forget that. Tune on in, support the players. You can watch them for those people who are like, oh, I can't do the pay-per-views and I can't do Patreon. Well, this is free. So head on over there today and check it out and watch that match. All right, what's next?
All right, 50 Shades of Geek says, I totally agree on the Zack Snyder thing. It's WB's right to interfere with a movie because it's their movie, but at some point it stops being giving a few notes to just being taking over the movie completely, like what happened to 2015's Fantastic Four. I'm working on a big project and I have an artist doing the work for it. I give them a few notes and course corrections from time to time, but for the most part I let them do what they want. I don't micromanage them all the time. In short, what I'm trying to say is you hired a director to do a movie for you because you like their vision, so let them do the movie you paid them to do. That's it. I'll get off my soapbox right now.
Well, thank you, 50 Shades. I appreciate that. And you'll probably hear more of 50 Shades in 15 minutes because Brett and I are going to be doing our stereo show right after this. Stereo.com/Kristian Harloff. Make sure that you join us. All right, what's next?
Ejaculate says, hello everyone, hope y'all doing well. So Paul Bettany just made a lot of fans expect that there's Luke Skywalker type cameo in finale, and directors said that a lot will be disappointed. Y'all think there will actually be a cameo, or is it just marketing? Thoughts?
And Steve, if you want to comment on this, we always address the caller by their name, so just in case. it's a little awkward, but we pay respects to these great names that make me proud that my mother watches this show.
Do we know? I think, and is everybody? I know Mark isn't. I don't. Steve, are you watching WandaVision?
I'm not. I should be, but
well, you're not. Mark isn't. Everybody else, I think everybody else is. So the question I have then, because there's been, Olsen has said there's going to be a big cameo now. Bettany has said, and the director's like, people are going to be disappointed. I think that the director is probably trying to throw people off and going. He knows that this thing is going to kick the shit out of people, and he's going, no, you're gonna be disappointed when he knows it's gonna be straight kick ass. But I don't know. What do you guys think, Dave?
I mean, he could be pulling a J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
But I think there's some truth in it where it's going to be like, it's Doctor Strange. So it's like, it's someone we know, someone we kind of assumed might show up. So it's not going to be like, I didn't see that coming, like Luke, you know, like where you, even though it was a reality of Luke possibly showing up, you didn't think that was going to actually happen. But with what they've been doing with the show, like anything's possible. So unless like Spidey shows up, you know, like I don't think it's going to be anything crazy mind blowing, but it's still going to be dope nonetheless.
What do you think, Steph?
I don't think that they're going to bring anyone. If they
At
do,
all?
it will be no, unless it's connecting to the next one of the next movies coming out. I could see Doctor Strange maybe, but they have so much to tell and work with the characters that are on screen already in one episode. I mean, unless it's like a 2-second cameo.
Well, like this is supposed to, correct me if I'm wrong, this is a direct tie-in into the next Doctor Strange movie,
next
right?
one?
Am I tripping?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. It might be strange, but like that's the only thing that I could think, and people might not be crazy, like freak out over that.
Alex?
I'm going off board. I'm going the
Oh.
Phantom. Think he rides his purple suit, hops on that white horse, comes right up to the house. Boom. Billy Zane. Slam.
Zane. Yes. Life's better with little Zane.
Billy
in your life.
Zane, yeah, it would be. What else did I just watch? I was watching the Flora and the Squirrel movie. Did you see the one on Disney Plus?
Disney Plus.
Yeah, I watched that with my daughter wanted to watch it, and it was cute. It was, you know, it's Ben
Yeah,
Schwartz.
but you
was
have
good in
PTSD from actual squirrels. So how are you processing?
it. Not as much as you would think. Not as much as you would think. So
Steve, if you don't know the story, a squirrel bit Christian's right testicle, and he had
that's
to have
also
both
not
of them
also
removed.
also not also.
Both of them, not just what you said.
Wow.
He just bit the right testicle. That's strange that both had to be removed.
They're the same.
It was a bleeding issue. It was a
Just a
clot.
precaution.
Like
I
an
was-
infection spread.
Yeah, I was on acid.
Ah.
But no, you know, the funny thing is that when I moved, that was more so Mark of just like, all right, because there were squirrels running around the back. These squirrels that are in my backyard now, they're nice. They don't bother anybody. These were fucking asshole squirrels that lived at the other place. These ones, these are nice squirrels. They come in, they eat food, they run away, they do their stuff. They don't bother anybody.
Yeah.
Assholes. These other ones, assholes. But
That's
so
what you get. When you have squirrels that live less than a block from a Jack in the Box, they're gonna be a high maintenance squirrels.
California squirrels are trifling. I had a friend in college. We had like an ongoing war with the soccer team. I played field hockey. The guys tried to prank us, and I had this crazy girl from Vermont that, you know, she was like a hunter since she was born. Like, she was fucking wild. She grabbed a squirrel by the tail, caught it, and then unleashed it in one of the boys' dorm rooms. Needless to say, the war ended because that was a PETA issue, but it was
That
good.
is a great war-ending prank. Right?
Yep.
Over.
Unleash
Game
the
over.
squirrel.
Yeah.
all right, let's try to get a few more here.
50 Shades of Geek says, sad story of the day. Last night I dreamed the WandaVision finale was screened in theaters. It was my first time in a theater since last March. The finale was great, and it even had a post-credit scene setting up Phase 4. Then I woke up to this sad world. Just in case you were wondering, the post-credit scene for WandaVision in my dream set up the next big bad of the MCU, Cruella de Vil, and teased a crossover with The Simpsons, Family Guy, and other shows of that type, because that's how my dreams are.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cubed says, on the topic of coming to America, is it possible that they wrote a script without worrying about rating, and then they realized that just a couple of minor tweaks would allow it to become PG-13 instead of that being a requirement from the start?
Oh no, I gotta get Craig Brewer on the show to ask him that question. I got to, because
What's it rated? What's it rated?
PG-13.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, Mark, here's a question for you, because you're usually the one that is like, it doesn't matter. Now you're a big Coming to America fan, the original, right? And so how
Yes.
do you think it matters for this one?
I think that comedy can be executed just as well in a PG-13 world if
Mhm.
the right practitioner is doing it.
Mhm.
I would have rather had it be rated R,
Right.
but in the same
Doesn't
way
mean it doesn't mean it's a deal breaker.
No, in the same way that I would prefer Deadpool rated R. But my point when Deadpool was coming out is that I didn't think it had to be R, or else it's a wasted effort. And I don't know that that's the case. But if you want to make an authentic barbershop feel like those scenes in Coming to America, you probably want that R rating.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I can't
But I never put
imagine
anything
like
past Eddie Murphy. And
Yeah.
Nutty Professor's PG-13 and it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine though, like someone, especially not knowing maybe where this movie was gonna land, if they're just writing the script. If you're writing something knowing Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, like if you're knowing these are gonna be your people, I can't imagine the original script was with PG-13 in mind.
Yeah.
To answer that homie's question.
Agreed. All right, we got about 10 minutes left, and then like I said, Brett and I are going to be doing the show on stereo. So let's get to it.
50 Shades of Geek says the trailer looks great. We need more movies with puppets.
I agree.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, man. I love puppets. That sounded weird. Yeah, I do. And you guys were talking about squirrels. Well, there's actually a squirrel puppet in the movie named Blinky. And
okay.
Allan, his fall from fame because he attacks the squirrel for no good reason when he's drunk, and he ends up getting in trouble for that. And the movie is actually dedicated to Blinky's memory.
That's awesome. Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah, I can't. So Ellis, I know you jumped in towards the end there too. So Allan the Dog is on. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I'm 2 feet in. I cannot wait to check this thing out.
Thank you, sir.
And we just showed the and like I said, we showed the trailer. You can check it out. And you guys, once again, we were here with Steve Wright, and you should please go and check out his movie Allan the Dog. It's going to be on this. It's already on Amazon Prime, so go and check that out. It's Allison Hayslip, Stephen Wright, and it's a great cast. So please check it out. All right, let's keep on going.
All right, Schmoes No Trivia time. Oh. Which of these movies didn't receive a 0 out of 5 Schmoes from either Kristian or Mark? Bucky Larson, Hot Pursuit, Jack and Jill, Texas Chainsaw 3D, or Piranha 3DD?
Piranha 3DD.
Piranha 3DD, and I don't think Texas Chainsaw got a 0 from us.
I don't know.
I remember Hot Pursuits.
It might have, dude. It might have.
Well, the answer is Jack and Jill. Kristian gave it 0.5, and Ellis gave it 0.2.
Okay.
I don't know what I would have given it 0.2.
Should I do it, Ellis? Ellis, should I do it? You're playing Twister with your sister.
Okay, all right, but Pacino also ruins 50% of his legacy in that movie.
Oh, okay.
Shots fired.
Don't know about that one. Yeah. So, have you seen my hair lately? That might have ruined the legacy. Okay. All right, moving on.
Trash Panda says, hey everyone, haven't watched live since going back to the office, but I'm working remotely now that a ransomware hack shut our server down for at least a week. Shit is rough, bro. Anyway, who's everyone's favorite comedy director?
Favorite comedy director?
I'm just gonna say Ivan Reitman or Harold Ramis.
Oh, Ramis, yeah, I would go Ramis. Anybody else? No.
Good talk.
All right, good talk. Moving on.
Oh, Edgar Wright for me.
Oh,
pretty fun.
There you go. All right.
Those are all great choices.
Keep it going.
All right. Senator Failed Orgasm says, hello, everyone. NBA talk. Brett, you know what to do. Mark Ellis, how you like 'em Lakers? Ellis, tell Kristian that the Knicks might make the playoffs this year. Are our guests into NBA? How's their team doing? Thanks, people, and keep being nice.
Yeah, the Knicks might make it to have the right to get swept by the Nets in the first round of the playoffs. So it's something. It's the playoffs.
It's at least
gonna be fine.
Yeah,
AD's gonna be fine. Keep him rested.
What an embarrassment that franchise is.
Mark, we need to talk after the show a little Top Shot.
Top heavy?
Top Shot.
Oh.
Yeah, NBA.
I don't like NBA, but I like making money.
By the way, Kristian tried to work his wizardry at me because I got a text from Bonnie Somerville, who hadn't texted me in like 3 months.
Really?
And all it was inviting me to their stereo that they were doing.
I did not.
And I was like, I am sure Kristian's on the other line to this.
100%. I had nothing to do with that.
Okay.
I had nothing to do with that. I had no idea she even knew how to work her phone, much less stereo.
Bonnie Somerville is, as a commenter said earlier, the Kyrie Irving of the SCHMOEDOWN.
You know what? I would have given her that had she not. I mean, she blew the doors off the place on Tuesday.
She's so awesome. She came in blazing.
There's a lot that she did. So and she ended it with a really with a Janis Joplin
donated
tune.
$20. Hey everyone. New tag team coming in September. Luke is gonna be a big brother.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, thanks. I think that was Joey Moda.
It was Joey.
Nice.
Congrats, man. That's great, Joey. Very happy to hear that, man. That's great. Congratulations
That's great.
to you.
Congratulations.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
All right, and our last one for now is from Jamin John. Who made better movies in their 2.5 short careers, James Byron Dean or Lee Jun Fan, aka Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee, or who was the other one?
James Dean.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee.
Who are we still talking about
Bruce Lee.
like, all
Bruce
the
Lee.
time?
Yeah.
I think we still talk about both of them fairly regularly, but only one of them beat up both Chuck Norris and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Right. That's right.
And that is Bruce Lee.
Mic
That's
drop.
absolutely-
Bruce
yeah,
Lee. Yes.
That's it. That's
Yes.
it. Okay.
I don't know
I
if we
think
talk about James Dean. I just think a lot of college kids have posters of him.
We're talking about him because of the CGI James Dean
Yeah.
thing that they're talking about, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Steve, maybe in your next movie you can just do puppets of dead actors.
Yeah.
And that is like a way to not have to see. It's like a lower. You don't have to pay as much as CGI, but you could have just a bunch of dead people be the stars of the movie.
I love it. I love it.
that's it. All right, cool. So with that one, guys, thank you so much. Ryan, hit the music. I want to thank Steve Wright for joining us here today. Once again, please check out Allan the Dog on Amazon Prime right now. Dave Moore coming in and kicking ace. Dave, we're going to see a lot more Dave here on SEN. So excited to have Dave involved in the crew. Mark Ellis, Brett Sheridan, Stephanie Sabraw, Ryan and Alex, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us this week. Tomorrow, Roka's back with the crew, and maybe we'll set the goal that Mark and I will host with them. Maybe if they ask for you to do it, then it'll happen. Okay, well, thank you guys so very much, and join us on stereo. We'll be there in 4 minutes. Peace!
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.